A little too bright today. Let's see. Hello, Burns, Brian, Jeremy, South Jersey, Bait Reviews. John, hello. I have this UFO bait. I'm trying to get ready to paint, and it's I got hosed on it. It had very large sections of delaminating paint on the sides, and I saw that and I said, you know what, if that is falling off, should be easy to get the rest of it off. No, apparently random places actually stuck, and you don't, so you like not, like little, you'll find a little piece and it'll peel up, and then like one little section will stick, and then it's very odd. It's very odd what actually adhered, and that the I don't know what people do when they paint, honestly. So I don't know if it was handling the bait, if it was lack of prep. I don't know what it is, but it's different. It's different. Oh yeah, I had to clean out the eye holes because they were filled up with goop. So I had to get them cleaned out. So I have a fresh bed to adhere my eye. Tom, good question. Good morning. What has me wondering? So I watched bits and pieces of Ike's Halloween thing, and all ever since MLF has started with their little tomfoolery, everybody seems very confused, and I can't make myself understand it, uh, because everybody's seems to be perplexed and surprised and just taken back that they're getting hosed, and that like things are happening outside of their control that they don't necessarily like. And I don't know how anybody is surprised by any of this, given who their ringleaders are. Uh, I don't know. It's pretty dumb. Like, to hear somebody complain, it would be like me. Like, I know this girl, and I know this girl. Not this is theoretical. So say I'm in college, whatever. Know this chick. She's kind of friend friend of the group. Everybody knows her, but she has a reputation of cheating on all of her boyfriends. Well, guess what? I decide I want to date this girl, and then I date her, and guess what she does? She cheats on me. What? And then I get all my buddies. I'm like, dude, can you believe it? She cheated on me. Yeah, dude. That's what she does. Like, this, it's the same thing that's happening in MLF. Like, what do you expect? You think you would be special and different? Didn't MLF say they were coming after Bass in the beginning, thinking a knockout was in the future? I want to say, Chris, I want to say there was maybe a quote from BD that said uh, that they pretty much won't be around. Hey, Bobby Sandman, Bobby Balsa Sandman. Thought KVD bought into MLF. He probably did. Uh, I don't know. I don't. I don't know who's. I don't know. Apparently, I don't know if those original dudes obviously have any pull. That would be a great question. Like the original guys, what was it, like 12 or 15 guys that bought in? What actual say do they have? They must have none, I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm thinking none. It, yeah, it's pretty funny, and you'd have to be pretty naive to think that like they were going to look out for you. But I don't know who said it, but somebody said something about just not showing up. You know what I mean? Like they do, you pay them, right? They're just a machine to hold your money, and then they just distribute it. So I don't know. It's the whole. What's up, Clay? The whole fishing scene. The more you like dig into it, the dumber it sounds, and the less appealing it is. So in I don't think maybe these guys are realizing it, but they're they're not they're painting the picture that that is not the machine. Like they're making an argument that this is not what you want to do. I could do this on YouTube. I could fish locally, film my stuff, not have to travel as much. Like especially if you lived in Texas, there's enough. Um, and or Alabama. Like I feel like there's plenty of options now. If you just want to fish, there's plenty of stuff that's good. Uh, you could promote yourself, which you're doing pretty much anyway. Like MLF isn't promoting you. They'll promote Bobby Lane. Did y'all see that? Who jumped ship? That was pretty funny. Got a good laugh out of that. Opens are good. Yeah, the opens should have always been live, but that's going to be real good. Like I said, because that's the opens have always been. You get the influx of local talent, and then it's always them. To me, the way I look at open tournaments is I look at it as two tournaments. You have the guys, which I don't know how much you can do that anymore, but back when you would have your cherry pickers locally that would jump in, and then you would have your out of towners that would go in and kind of break the lake down with new eyes. And I always like seeing how it would, which eyes prevailed. You get the You know, the tried and true guys that go do their thing that they've always done, and then you get new eyes. Most not, or maybe the 12 are part of the shenanigans. Could be. You don't hear much about that, Kyle. I don't know what the what power those early dudes hold. Uh, maybe not much. Maybe all of it. I don't know. Uh, uh, I didn't listen to Chris. I didn't listen to the Boyd part, um, mainly because there was nothing he's going to say that's would be at it, that of any interest or anything interesting. Um, so, I mean, what would what would he possibly say that would be A, believable, uh, B, new, or even like remotely, I mean, interesting, like out of controversial? No, the dude's not going to say anything that's like not corporate. Yeah, there's nothing he can say. So it's not like the guy like is like an open book where he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot you straight. No, like I wish people would quit fucking interviewing him. Like, it, what do you really get out of it? You know what I mean? Like, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. He's not going to tell you anything. Obviously, like I'm proving a point right now. If you fish the MLF and you say, oh, they're doing stuff that we didn't, we weren't privy to or whatever. You think he's going to tell you something in a damn Ike Live video that's like going to hold any kind of water? No. Um, Here, a hot Poche interview. Ooh, haven't forgot about Poche. I don't know. That'll be interesting. That will be interesting. Um, I guess we'll have to leave that up to Biloxi Blues man to get the hot Poche interview. I don't know. Watson's the one that needs to be the damn interviewer. I much rather listen to Watson field the questions. Um, is Poche sitting out of the MLF to fish the Elite Slip next year? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't looked at a standings or results uh, in forever. Uh, Poche better get a glass boat and fish every elite to get out of the bass cut line. Yeah, yeah. I guess he's not going to be able to flippy floppy. Wheeler handled it like a politician. Wheeler knows. He because like to me Wheeler is like he knows he's at the level now that like he's like the up and coming Boyd. You know what I mean? Like he's in training for like that type of level of tax bracket. So I think he knows. I think he's always known. I think he's always known. That kid came out knowing what he needed to do. He knew about because I feel like Wheeler took that. I think that's what makes him so great is that as a fisherman professionally, um, is that he has such good insight that what he learned at like 16 probably took me till my mid 30s to be like not so naive to understand. And that was like networking, meeting people, getting information. Like he was doing that all simultaneously while like honing his fishing skills. Me at his age, I was just trying to like, you know, find some new colored bandit, like dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like he's out there fishing at a very high level, but also meeting people, getting information, like playing the game the way the highest level is played, but he was like doing it so early on. And I don't like you don't most normal like young kids don't think that way. Um, no, he's that's the other thing that kind of irks me about him, Clay, is that he's got that like he's kind of got that all shucks like leave it to beaver attitude and like demeanor, but he's also got that like narcissistic grin and like kind of like aura about him, um, to where he's probably like got the most gigantic ego, but he like still like tries to like laugh it off, like I'm just a normal guy, just out here, just found him. No, you didn't. Um, but like I've from what I've always heard from when he was very young was that like when he was fishing BFLs, like when he won that BFL All American or whatever, that like that dude as was as good at fishing, or he was as good at like meeting the right people, getting the right info, learning all this stuff about the lakes, like all this stuff. He was just as good at that young as he was at actual fishing. Um, so he's got an opportunity. Brian, I don't think he'll ever be that because he doesn't have the personality for it. KVD had a mystery about him. KVD had a very likable personality. I don't think, which Wheeler I think has a likable personality to a degree, but I don't think he's as universally. I don't know that he has the edge that KVD has. Like KVD had that like very very competitive, mysterious edge about him that made him interesting. And if you ever listen to him like try to give you like fishing tips or like any of his like tips, they were all like generic. Um, and like he never really spilled any juice or the beans about anything he did. Um, so, but you listened. Uh, Clay, the forward-facing boys are coming for Wheeler. The problem is he's better than them, supposedly. That's what they say. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Listen, I guess he'll have competition. Um, we shall see. We shall see. But Jeremy, I feel like a guy like Skeet. Skeet was probably one of the 12 that bought in. So what does he do? So if he bought in, like whatever they bought into, does that still exist? And if Skeet gets chopped and he still has ownership in MLF, but he can't fish it, what does he do? Somebody buy out his piece of the pie? Probably doesn't want to do that. Probably doesn't want to sell his piece of the pie. Probably wants to keep his piece of the pie. Um, yeah, I think everybody was like a little bit excited because it was like Travis, because it was like something new. And it's like, all right, I'm not maybe 100% into this, but it'll be more fishing to watch. But I think there's so much stink around it now, it's like not even appealing. Uh, you know what I mean? Like at some point, they're just gonna like roll in enough stinky shit that like everybody's gonna be like, man, this is just too stinky. I don't want to smell this anymore. So I mean, that's kind of what I feel about it. I mean, everybody's got enough drama in their life, like just like living. You know what I mean? Paying bills, like kids screaming at you, whatever. Like fishing drama, that's like completely the fault of the anglers, which is what's so funny about it. Is like how the all the interviews should be about 10 seconds long and be like, oh, what do you think about this MLF stuff? You know what? I had it coming. Shame on me. I I I, I should have seen it. Everybody knew it. Like, I'm dumb. That's it. It's over. Kids screaming is absolutely draining from a mental status. Yes, yes, it is. Anthony, you can feel your brain start to short circuit, and it's like this. Like, I don't even know what you'd call it, but it does fill your body. It's like somebody took like a bicycle pump and like put a bunch of needles in your body and like started pumping you up, and you just feel like pressure like building everywhere. I don't know if that's rage or if that's just blood pressure. Wheeler in the bass industry is on the level of KVD, fan favorite, top sponsor, etc. Left MLF, went to NPFL, whatever. Called probably bring an extra 20 to 30% viewership to them. Maybe, probably, I guess, yeah. Wheeler is not KVD. He's like Dudley. Yeah, I don't know that I could lump Wheeler in KVD. Like maybe on paper he's getting up in the wins and all that kind of stuff. But I think there's just like, I think it's like the Jordan LeBron thing. Like there'll be another, like there's LeBron's not even close. You know what I mean? LeBron could win 8 championships and it wouldn't be close. Imagine how much bigger KBD would have been had social media been a thing. I don't know. I mean, KVD's got social media, and I don't think KVD's social media is great at all. I think how much better, how much bigger KVD could have been had his social media had had he had like some really like expert level marketing person behind it. Probably he might. I don't know. But I don't know that he wanted that. I think KVD is very conservative in his approach to business, and he just wants to like do his obligatory stuff. And here's my red eye shad. It's cold. Grass is New grass is coming off the bottom. You throw it out there, and it shimmies on the fall, and you shake it, and you rip bass. The end. There you go, Strike King. Suck it. Next. Okay, here's my uh, whatever. Oakley sunglasses. I got a new lens. Next. Yeah, he could have done it. He could have had a pretty good YouTube channel, I bet. Is all his products on the shelves? Exactly. He knows like KVD doesn't. Everything is by design with him. Like everything he does is it contract like from a contract or from his some sort of obligation or whatever. It's not like, hey fans, let's have some fun today. Let's shoot off the hip. No, that's not happening. The absence of social media. Yeah, I think I can certainly agree with you there, Travis, because you have a I think it all has to do with that mystique of him and what he was doing, and like you didn't get too much of him. You only got what was given to you, and whether that was like Wired to Fish doing a little clip with him or BASS or whoever, like they were in control of how much KVD you got. So anytime some KVD knowledge hit, you're like, ooh, let me get that. You know what I mean? But now if he's posting like you're supposed to every day or multiple times a week, some little clip of him doing a tip, your tips eventually just water down to where it's like, oh, that's just KVD. Um, they definitely controlled what KVD you got. Yeah, if you got you you always got corporate KVD. I guess the only time you ever saw a rub was Ike in the community. Um, like KVD is part of the old crowd. Don't like doing it. The great thing about Kevin is that he doesn't have to because he's one of the few. Uh, he's one of the few that he did it with his rod. He sold a shit ton of products, still does, but Van Dam did it like everybody wants to. He wanted to be a pro first, like a fisherman first, and then like sell shit second. Most of the guys to survive out there have to sell shit first, and then their little measly shitty checks they get kind of pay their gas bills and whatever else. But Van Dam, he was the boss. He got to do it his way with a rod. He didn't have to. He didn't have to blow smoke up anybody's ass. Most of his tips are leaning towards Strike King baits for sure. But he wish Rick Clunn would do more videos on his channel. Rick's got a great channel because his are all insightful and they're very like I don't even know what you'd call them. They're just kind of homegrown, like Rick's thoughts. You know what I mean? Like they're very organic. I like them. Even his tips. I mean, like he could hawk whatever he's hawking in his, and it's very thought out and like I said, organic and well distributed. I think we're learning with social media and live coverage that you can easily overdose a fan base. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like I think that's what everybody like everybody's failing to realize is that they think, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm probably not the best at this because typically uh I've talked about it with like music and I'm not like saying I'm like the fucking edgiest guy ever, but like I feel like anytime I start liking something or somebody, like say it's like a YouTube channel, I usually like it when it's a little grimier in the beginning, and then things start changing and they start evolving and they start getting popular, and then like you kind of just quit watching them when they kind of start their evolution, and then you go back and you're like, I really don't like, I'm really not interested in that anymore. And then you go back and you look, and when you might have been watching them, they had 100,000 followers or 50,000 followers, and then you go back and look, and they're at like 800,000, and they're like at their peak popularity of whatever they're doing, which is like my least favorite version of it. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening with bass is like they're just like you're just getting hit with so much. It's just like I don't want that much. Like just give me the good stuff. Are the Googans still big? I don't know, Bob. I don't feel like they are. I don't feel like they have the 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 power they once held because you don't hear about them much anymore. Um, I don't know. Best guides on OHV is the best guide on OHV is a 72-year-old retired guide that has been catching giants for 10 years. He ain't showing pics. He ain't blowing himself on social media. He just goes out there and catches them. Striper Guide on Possum Kingdom has over 100 DU bass. It's a lot of bass. Ooh, Academy pulled the Guggen stuff in Central Texas. Clay, that is not a good sign. If it's getting pulled in Central Texas, I would think that's not good for. That's really bad for Virginia or Utah or somewhere. You know what I mean? Weird flex to tell everybody I've caught 100, but not show. That is an interesting concept. Yeah, I caught a couple hundred DDs. Making some room for Crush City. But nobody's like Guggen was always they were ruffling everybody's feathers. Now they're not ruffling anybody's feathers. Like they need to get they need to get I don't know. I guess they blew their wad. Like they came out, got the baits, and then they didn't like do anything. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like anybody pushes that stuff anymore. They might talk about it, but I don't feel like they push it like they were. I don't know. Swinkers tarnished the brand. What I feel like is probably the kids in Central Texas and the community around Dallas, Austin, Houston, Fort Worth, whatever, San Antonio, like that, all the big cities around there. They're typically they were on the leading end of the Guggen curve, so they got all that stuff first. They were aware of the market first. They were the first to take it in. Alabama being Alabama, we're typically like years behind everywhere else as far as trends go and that kind of thing. So I can see if it's getting pulled in, if stuff's kind of petering out in Texas, it'll probably have another year and a half lifespan here before you start seeing that same kind of peter. Um, so Dicks Up in Mass is still milking the Guggen teat. I mean, still selling. Still selling. I guess I would have to watch a Guggen video to know what they're doing. I'll get recommended some Rackley videos, but he's always like camping or something, or like doing something that doesn't interest me. But it's usually not product related as far as buying a lipless bait. Fanboys would get them like Pokemon cards. Yeah, that's true. The 15-year-olds will grow up in 20 years and be 35 years old and be like, oh, let me go buy up all these old Guggen baits that I never got to get. Darius, you've got a fake. You got a. Did you get hacked? Darius, did you get hacked and the hacker posted largemouth on your page? Is that what that was all about? I should have known. I should have known. Anytime Darius posts largemouth on his socials, definitely hacked. Definitely hacked. Well, this thing's horrific looking. I hate these damn things. Hello, Hella. Hella, I had no clue when you and Baxter were streaming that I was on, that y'all were simul streaming. And Amy was watching your stream in the bed next to me, and I was on Baxter's chatting it up. Nobody talking over there. I felt like I was talking to a brick wall. And Amy was like, can you see so-and-so's comments? I was like, I can't see your comments. I can't see anybody's comments. And she's like, why? And she's like, did you see Kyle's comments? Did you see Brian's comments? Did you see? I'm like, no. I said, did you see Caro's? I said, no, I can't see any of these comments. Did everybody block me? And then I looked down and I was like, oh, they're simul streaming. I'm on Baxter's. I was like, you're in a whole different chat. So I jumped over, and there's all my friends. And then I found another TK. Didn't like that. It is an imposter. I wanted to tell him, watch out, bro. I don't feel like it was too. I don't feel like it was too six heavy. I mean, they scratch his back, so it's understandable. I really just don't even hear any of that anymore. I feel like my ears have gotten tuned to the point where they go in and out. I don't know if it's having kids or a wife or what it is, to where you just like, you can like tune your ears in and out to what you foresee coming into them. YouTube video, somebody's about to give you a plug about something, you're like, oh, here it comes, and you just kind of, you're watching them and you're hearing it, but you're not. Bob, I'm trying to get one, but Amy said she's going out of town tonight or tomorrow or something. She's got to go out of town. So I got to see if I'm going to do one Thursday. Um, if somebody can watch the kids, because there won't be anybody to watch the kids but me. So, uh, so I could get Marty on again. I need Burns is a weekender. I got to get Burns on a weekend. Like he can't. He's not available midweek, so it had to be a Saturday stream for Burnsy. Um, but what was I saying here? Got a text message that said prayer hands praying for him. Bob has 10 kidney stones. Yuck. That doesn't sound good. Darius, you like weekends? I would love to do a Kentucky Lake Darius episode. Darius, do you want to talk about Kentucky Lake? As much as I love Kentucky Lake and talking about Kentucky Lake, I can even pull up my pictures. My Kentucky Lake pictures. And I think y'all might find this interesting, but I think I have a picture of myself with a giant at Kentucky Lake in some rags that I currently still wear. Let's see if I can find it. Yes. Yes. Check out the shorts. If you're confused as to what you're looking at, the plaid is my underwear. And I have a giant rip up the front of my pants all the way to the belt. Time for a new pair of pants? No. No, these will be fine. These will be fine. That was a 7-pounder I caught off the ledge. But look at those glasses. I was eating good then. And I had a gigantic dip in with my Triton shirt. I was at the mouth of Big Sandy, caught on a 6XD. Still have the bait. Darius, I'll send you the digits, and you can swing over there and see if that place is still juicing. Oh no, skull. No skull for me. Copenhagen long cut is the only smokeless tobacco. Oh, where is Hella? No, it wasn't Hella. I was on Baxter's stream, and I wanted to have a talk with the gentleman on there. I think his name was Jeff. And frog fishing came up. And he said the frog bite only lasts a little while here, and then something about the grass being out of the water. He said we've only got like a 2-week frog bite or something. And I wanted to tell him, frogs work on Kentucky Lake if there's water in the bushes. Do that. It's way more fun, and there's way more of them. I feel like maybe not, but do you see that, Daryl? Where he said the something about the grass, and like I was like, dude, there's so many places at Kentucky Lake you can throw a frog that is not grass. You're missing out, dude. Like, hands down, the best public water grass or frog bite I've ever been on was on Kentucky Lake in the bushes. We were catching like 40 a day, average about 15 to 17 pounds. Like it was just an insane number of 3-pounders. There weren't any big ones up there, but if you caught a 4, that would be a real. A 4 would be a big one, and but there was just so many 2 to 3.5 pounders. It was sickening. You were like we were going through frogs to where you would halfway through the day, like you would catch enough that your frog would be the line tie would be pulled through, or you'd have like a hole in it to where it would like take on water to the point where it was unfishable. But that was also the same time, Daryl, that when I was up there fishing, which we got our ass kicked, right? Like we kind of knew it because it was into May, 1st of June. We knew that can't get the water in the bushes for the last 3 years. Right? Is there any? I mean, there's got to be something to fish around. Not any deep bushes. How much are they dry, or is there like inches on them? I want to come up there. I'm coming, Darius. I want to exploit this frog bite. Maybe 1 week. Man, it doesn't even sound like the same place. Used to have frog days like that all the time. Dustin, that was before everybody figured out that where you live is the juice for frogging. Then it got exposed. Then bass exposed your little jewel, little hidden jewel. Dry, no water. What? Darius, is it growing? Is it like a lawn now? Has it been down so long that there's like other stuff growing on the bush flats? My local fishing hole is the home of the lightest 5 bass limit in Bassmaster history. Something to be said about that. What is that? What is that pond called? The Frog Lake has 40 boat tourneys on a 200-acre lake. Took 2 years to kill it off. Wow. Pool 19. Aren't they going, where are they going? Aren't they going somewhere else up there? In Helluland? I need to get a schedule out. Rock. Because that's what happened to all those Texas lakes during the drought, like Travis and all that. Like Travis was real low, and then it just grew up from being low into like a yard. You know what I mean? Like bushes grew and plants, and then it flooded, and everything filled up, and like you have this whole like crazy ecosystem. They fish lacrosse pool 8, but they can go to 9 or 10. That'll be cool. Might be a little willow grass in the summer, but they start draining the lake by then. Why do they do that, Darius? Have they always done that, or is that you said the last 3 years they started doing that? And it doesn't come up until when? They always do it. They worked on the dam of Cumberland for 10 years, and the trees and everything green. They filled it up, and it was the best Cumberland fish pond in 5 years. Yeah, that's what happened to Travis. Travis blew up. It was awesome. It was awesome. But I think the OHIV was the same way. Or like when I was in Austin, which was like, I don't know what years I was out there, 14, 15 to like 20. After being there like a year or two, talking to people that lived out there, everybody told me, hey, and I didn't know what OHIV was. And what I always heard from like the dudes that knew was that if OHIV ever fills up, the place is going to blow your mind. And I was like, okay, like I said, I didn't know what OHIV was. I'd like just got there from Alabama because I was trying to figure out like what lakes were good and what was what. And they were like, Choke's going to be nuts, and OHIV is going to be nuts. We just need water. Okay, whatever that means. Choke ended up being great, but nothing like Ivy, obviously. But hell, Travis was awesome. They bring it back up the 1st of April. Damn, that's a long time to keep it low. My mom had a house there from like 2000 to 2019. I grew up fishing there when they were filling it. Ivy was probably always nuts, just more fun Texas summer. Yeah, that's what it sounded like, Clay. It's like guys obviously back when didn't have any problem catching giants out of Ivy, and they knew like what lived there, and they just needed water. So yeah, I would like to have fished it. You got to fish it. How did it fish in like 2005 when you said there was mats everywhere? Could you go out there with like a Bobby's Perfect and like catch an 8 out of a mat pretty easy? Did you catch them on Stillhouse, Clay? Carolina Rig City. I guess it was probably like a little like Amistad or something. Oh yeah, Morgan, we're over here sanding these funny looking swim baits. Kentucky Lake had all the grass. It was during a bunch of dry years. All the high water they had after that killed most of the grass. That sucks. What's up, Tim? I never made it out to Ivy. I never got. I didn't explore too much, mainly because I couldn't afford to. I would fish close to the house So I went to the Travis's, the Fayette, within about an hour and a half. Went to Belton, went to Stillhouse, went to LBJ, um, all those little lakes around Austin. Um, but Clay, so I didn't know jack about LBJ, and this is where information will help you. So I went there on my birthday, and Amy got an Airbnb on the lake, and at the time, this is like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, um, and I went out there, and it was in September, which is not great, but we stayed in the upper end of the lake, like where the river flows in, where the bridge collapsed. We were kind of up there, and all I heard about was that like the grass bite was insane on LBJ, and I was like, got to do that. So I put the boat in and I started driving around. And like I said, I don't know jack. All I've heard is that like there's grass here. I start driving around and a lot of docks, not much grass, a lot of rocks, not much anything. So I keep going and I keep going and I keep going, and I like drive down the lake, and it's like starting to get real dark and like stormy looking, and like lightning starts popping. And I go down to this very last creek on my way down, and I see nothing, and I'm like, all right, I'm going back. So I I go back and I fish up the river, and anyway, I I get back to Austin like after my trip, and we caught some, nothing great. It was a pretty terrible trip. It's fun, but the fishing wasn't great. Uh, so I get back, and I asked my buddy that I knew had fished there before. I was like, "Where's the grass?" And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Where's the grass on LBJ?" I was like, "Show me on a map." So I pulled up like Google Earth, and he's like, "It typically starts from this creek all the way down." I'm like, "Oh, that's the last creek I went to." He's like, "What?" I was like, "That's the last creek I stopped at looking for grass." And he's like, "You were at the top?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh yeah, it's the bottom's where it's at." And I'm like, so if you're if you're not one of those information guys, if you're going to a quasi grass lake, probably wouldn't hurt to maybe get a little info to save you some time, because I could have been on the lower end snatching hogs out of weeds, but instead I was skipping jigs under rock bluffs and $1 million home docks. Not my idea of the best fun, but I feel you, Clay. I feel you, Clay. No derbies for me either. I just hoard fishing tackle like I'm about to go in the Elite Series next year. That's about it. Um, Hella, if you keep growing into a gigantic million followers platform, it'll be fine as long as you don't change. Sounds like fishing here on Gaston. No thanks. Where you're skipping under hundreds of $1,000 wake boats while the while the butler and yard men are down there keeping the grounds cleaned. It's pretty much what it looks like. Hilla will be the tactical bassin of the North. That would be wonderful. Splendid. I think Hilla would probably take that. Keep breaking gills and documenting it. When is that video gonna drop? So I can give it a dislike. Skipping under docks that cost more than my house. That's the norm on Gaston. Catching any? Nah, not under your broke ass dock. This dock sucks. The guy over there with all the money, he's got all the fish under his dock. Same size house. Can't remember the last time I watched a tactical. Jeremy, I haven't watched a tactical bassin video since at least. I know they lived in California. It was before they moved. I don't know. It was probably when Matt was still in his Champion or whatever he used to ride around in. Oh, Gil meets a dock post. No. No. No, I don't know the last time I got any info at a tactical. It's been a while. It's been a little minute. That's another one they were a slow burn. Like it took them a while and then they just blew up. But it really, I feel like it was a struggle for them to like catch steam. To even get to like 100,000 subs, you like a guy like Randy Blockett. Like Randy got there pretty fast. And all he does is talk for a few minutes at his house or in his truck. But they were actually going out and filming content and like editing videos and like doing that kind of stuff, like the hard way. But once they blew up. And that's probably about the time that I fell off the subscriber list. I didn't unsub or anything, but I just kind of lost interest. They made it. I just like the struggle, when they're hungry. I like the hunger, like the wolf, Duran Duran style. So the next time we do a stream, I'm going to do a intro song, and we're going to do Hungry Like the Wolf, and I'm going to make everybody sit here and listen to it for its entirety before I ever say a word. They post too early in the morning? I'm not aware. I'm not aware of their when they do what. Clay, what's your favorite sea rig bait? If you had to have one for the rest of your days rigging in Texas, what's it going to be? French fry. What am I doing? Why did I agree to paint these stupid things? Daryl, do you French fry a lot? Have you got some Jimmy Big Time French fries yet? Big brush hog. Tim, you like a French fry too? Oh, Tim, I know what you do. Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would bet one bait off this wall that you put yours in a Plano or in their bag and you take one, dip it in chartreuse, dye, throw it in the bag, and let them waller around, Fritz style. Lizard pre-spawn, baby brush hog post-spawn. Be like a lizard. Speed crawl, 10-inch power worm. Darius, you like a lizard? Magnum or regular? When did y'all see Milliken's video that he posted from his win on Toledo or Rayburn or wherever he won, where he was throwing the hogwalla? And I'm pretty sure he said his co-angler was throwing a brush hog and they wouldn't bite it, but they would eat a hogwalla. And after he said that, I said, let me look at this stupid thing. So I pulled it up and I was like looking at it and I was like, that's a damn brush hog, bro. Like, you really, really hard for me to believe that the guy could not get one bite on a brush hog. But I know weird stuff happens. But that was very hard for me to believe. 0 bites. Gave him a bait. He starts whacking them, apparently. Magnum up at St. Clair, green pumpkin. Color matters, I guess. But I thought, like, something seemed fishy about it. Like, the guy was throwing a green pumpkin brush hog and he was throwing a green pumpkin hogwalla or something. Like, it seemed like it was very, very similar in what they were doing. And he basically caught everything, and the guy in the back never had a bite. I do a lot of my Sea-Rig plastics that way, TK. I knew it, Tim. I knew it because it wasn't too long ago I saw Fritz on an old Bassmaster doing that clip. Hogwalla was key. They won't bite another bait that looks identical in color and shape. But they'll bite this one. I mean, like I said, I know weird shit happens. Certainly a possibility. But it just came off a little stinky. I used to like an 8-inch dead ringer on a Sea-Rig. Caught them well in Guntersville. So it seems like there's there's two schools of thought on sea rigging: heavy, twisty, twirly, flippy floppy, or nothing, or poo poo stick. We tested a dinger versus a true Yamamoto Senko would catch 4 to 5 to 1 to dinger fish on a Carolina rig or just weightless. Ten-inch power worm. So Clay, you and your dad are probably responsible for all of the Elite Series guys going out there and throwing a big power worm or old monster. Because somehow that was I mean I guess it was probably pretty well known, but Tim, what's Fritz going to do next year? Where will he be fishing? A Zoom Fatty Z. Oh, let's see here. Let's see here. Anybody ever do a speed worm? You know what would be, which the hookup ratio would probably be terrible, but for a bigger bite, anybody ever sea rig a horny toad? Morgan, you ever try that? What if you could sea rig that guy? I bet that would probably be pretty good. I need to come out to Texas again and sea rig a H&H, see what happens. Dang, I do have Yamamoto's. Green pumpkin with red flake. 042. Oh, those are, these I thought were going to change the game. Oh, let's see here. In fact, did not change the game. Oh, look at those. Killers. Oh, there they are. There they are. I need to hide these. You don't need to see these just yet. I found them. So these were the juice back in the day. Travis, did you order some? The ugly one? The ugly bug? Trick is to use the lightest weight possible and just glide over the deep grass rather than sucking in on all these guys. I see guy goes with a half-ounce weight and I can't make it work. Usually a quarter. You haven't got to fish them yet, Travis? They probably would make a really, really good, because they probably have a lot of action. But these were the juice way back in the day. Some of you might remember these. And the colors were beautiful. See, I don't even think this has a. I don't even think this has a color name. Walmart special, baby. Renegade. Maybe one day when I get in a bind, crack the seal on the old Renegade caterpillars. That's what I'm saying, Tim. They make badass colors. It's actually kind of it's kind of Epic Eric Nedrig color. Um, but it's like half watermelon. The half is kind of a pumpkiny brown, and it's got a gold and black flake in it. Um, Retro's loins just got tingly tight. You're right. You're right. He is definitely, there's definitely movement happening, Anthony. Things are tightening up. But if you wanted to go full throb, Anthony, you pull these out for your Sea Rig aficionados and watch them go ding. Oh, yes. Chartreuse pepper floating air fry. Even a little, Anthony, it's even got a little hooky just for you. Whatever you call that disease. They had to pay Larry Nixon and Bill Dance for these. Once I bought these. Got these at Ace Hardware. These were mine as a kid. Look how many I used. I think one. These are from whenever like I bought these new as a kid. Talk about never getting rid of anything. Like my face with the old hooky syndrome. Kelly Jordan. Was that at Wheeler? I'm trying to think which tournaments he actually won. Every old man told me I needed those and never caught anything on them. I've never seen. I mean, there's no doubt that it'll catch a fish, but like I don't know how much the floating thing. I'm sure in certain applications it would be a thing, but I think we've learned since then that like your bait floating off your Sea Rig is not maybe as important as one once thought it was. Um, because I think on like 2004 or three, whenever he won that tournament on Wheeler or Wilson, wherever it was, he was cranking. He was cranking like a little. He's cranking a Bagley B2, Killer B2, and a fat free shad, a little fat free shad, and I think he was Carolina rigging. Um, When Darius was a kid, the hardware store was the shop. Yeah. So I saw a video of these back in the day, and I don't remember where or when or how, but it was pretty incredible. These are unopened. I wonder if I should not open them. But the video that Berkley put out was magnificent. Never caught a fish on them. They were the Berkley Sabertail. And they looked so awesome in the water, but I couldn't get bit on them. But looking at this package right here in 2023, I think I could take these and put it on a wobblehead and do really good, because they look cool in the water, but I don't think they shined for me like on a Texas rig, like pitching to a tree. But I think you could. I think you do. I think there's room for that. I don't know. Floating air fry. Here's another discontinued Berkley product. I like my worms generic. Hey man, will you hand me a worm? Sure. You got lucky. You got lucky, Travis. Our hardware still called IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Had some decent stuff here as a kid. Still enjoy driving past the place and giggle because of the name. Does Berkley have Havoc still? I don't know. I'm not a Berkley shopper, and I don't go into tackle stores hardly at all, unless I'm somewhere. But I couldn't tell you. I don't think so. Hey, Frank. Havoc is gone. Oh well. Grass Pig was too stiff. I did buy a bunch of the Havoc stuff. I didn't say I bought a bunch of it, but I did own some Havoc stuff. AJ is the Havoc man. I've got some Havoc stuff. I meant to give it to AJ. I think it's in here. Oh, yeah, I think he turned the nose up. I think he turned his nose up at these because they were big Texan, and he was like, Oh, there they are. I did have them. Black and blue ones. The blue looks like it's almost completely faded out. Or maybe they're just all black. I'll put these in with the other worms in case somebody gets in a bind. I guess so many pit bosses bought out 3 Walmarts in Lubbock when it was 50 cents a pack. You still got pretty good stock? Are we talking like 100 packs? Anthony's got pegs of the entire Havoc line? Really? I've got at least 50 plus black and blue packs and maybe 20. Wow, it's pretty strong. Do you hoard anything else, Clay? Or just old Havocs? Is the Havoc collection at the highest of any of the hoarded things? Tim, you've got them too? I never liked the Pit Boss. I couldn't keep it on the hook. I was always having to touch it. Don't seek out hoarding. Smart. But sometimes it just falls in your lap where you're like, I can't resist this. Morgan, funny you say that. I also bought Ugly Otters on blowout closeout sale. And I think I rigged one time and thought, this looks like shit. And never put another one on. So now I've got like 12 packs of them up at the lake. Because a lot of times I'll buy stuff like that and be like, oh, I'll just use this as like a farting around like pond bait or like a practice bait. And then I like see it in the water. I'm like, dude, you're not even good enough for like pond fish. You look terrible. I guess if I get in a real bind. 50 plus packs of super hogs. It's good stuff. Excuse me. Threw them away. Smart move. I don't think anybody's missing out on the Ugly Otter. Oh, bless me. A lot of punching. Still punch a beaver? Never rigged one up. I couldn't tell you what it did. Morgan, the only thing that I can think of now that I would like them for, and it actually, I'm kind of excited that you might have a big stockpile because it just hit me. Is I would take off all the appendages and I will cut a slit in the tail and make it a big, fat, flat crab looking Ultra Vibe Speedworm. So Morgan, dig deep and see if you can maybe find those because I might have just cracked my crab code down here. That might actually be the perfect bait for swimming because it's short and it's fat. And it's flat and looks like a crab. So I just talked myself into liking it again. If you have ugly otters and haven't thrown them away, I think I found a use for them. I'm going to turn them into Ultra Vibes. I think that's the plan. Watch, I just talked shit about the ugly otter. Now I'm going to be calling Gambler asking them if they have any packs left over. It never dawned on me till just now. I got a Cinco mold and I have been recycling. Need a beaver mold. Yeah, that would be sweet. I've never poured anything. I never in all my tackle making stuff, ventures and journeys. Went through the lead phase, painting phase, obviously. The only thing I ever got interested in enough to look into pouring soft plastics, the only thing I ever wanted enough for me to buy plastisol and colorant and all that kind of molds and stuff. The only thing I ever wanted was a super chunk mold, and none of the molds at the time, like 10, 15 years ago, were never right. They were always wonky. I still feel like there's not like that the jig trailer gets shit on in the custom mold world, custom lure world. That the jig trailer is always down the totem pole. So that was what never got me into it. Is nobody offered a good chunk mold. So four single baby otters. Do you think they would make a good candidate for a ultra vibe conversion, Hella? I haven't poured many soft plastic, but I've gotten into pouring a lot of lead. Are you melting? Are you melting down like old roof jacks and shit, Tim? I've remelted and made soft stick baits, but realized I should edit videos if I have that kind of time. I would say send your leftovers to AJ Hella, but we tried to extend the olive branch and gift him some of um, our our downed scrap baits, and he turned his nose up to it. He said, "Would you like for us to save our baits for you to remount?" No, you keep that trash. Fine. 505-inch Senkos before February. I think you'll get there. Is your goal to use 505-inch Senkos or to make them? Tim's running around taking lead weights off people's rims. Hey, did you drop this valve stem cover? Oh, let me put it on for you. Oh man, these are not getting any more fun. Minnesota Bass Nation has a remelt program against donated kids, so I bring plastics there. That's pretty cool. I wonder if they have that here. Not that I go through enough soft plastics, or would I ever drop off my used soft plastic so people would see what I was using? But sounds good. Jeremy, the most beautiful swim bait in all the land. It's like that. It's like that dude from Dick Tracy, Lips Mahoney, or some whatever his name was. That's Jeremy. That's what makes me question everything I do, because I will look at this and say, "Wow, the thing's got some lips on it, and an oddly placed eye, and a very odd looking eye, and just an all around odd shape aesthetically. Doesn't please me. not even a little bit. And then it is just funky, and not in a good way. And then I lay down in bed, open Facebook, and there's a picture of one of these, and there's 10 comments under it that say, "Holy shit, that's dope." What? Dude, that thing's so sick. Are we looking at the same thing? Yes, apparently. Are they awake? I don't know. There's so many things that confuse me. Like guys' paint jobs, for instance. I'll see somebody paint like a swim bait that looks like total ass, and there'll be 4 or 5 guys comment, "That's so sick. The paint job's dope." No, it's not. It's not. I'm sorry. This one's got some sort of goo. It's got some sort of goo on it. Somebody tried to clear coat this one, but it's gooey. So we're going to work on trying to take that off. Don't know what it is, but it seems offensive. So it's very gummy. It seems to just like, what is this shit, dude? Like, people put shit on baits. They like take people's money to put shit on baits, and it's like, I don't even know what it is. Like, it's like you can scrape it off with your finger. No, Kyle, I haven't. I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You know what I mean? So I can't talk shit on somebody for. I mean, I can privately like this, but I'm not gonna blast somebody for thinking something looks good. Uh, Blood my bunny given from the gun shop is super clean. Hella, maybe I'll put yours back together and send it to Sam, and then send you a freshie. That'll be his training wheels. I gave up swim baiting. A good collection. Maybe make an art display. It's always good for that. It's what everybody else does. But I'd rather have 2. Well, that's fair. That's fair. I need a rag. All right, let's see. I'm going to see if alcohol will take this junk off. We're going to find out. I'm hoping it's such a bitch ass material that I can just get it off with alcohol. But they just sprayed it over resin. So, like, maybe the painter will never get over the level when their paint job is crap and thinks it looks good because 4 people saying it was good. Yeah, I mean that could be a stunted growth thing. Uh, like if you're doing shit and people in I don't it's not I don't think the people telling you it looks good are what influence you. I think you have to know. And there are people that will post awful stuff. I mean, and I say awful because they're posting it in a forum that has other stuff to compare with. So there is a something to gauge your work by. You just scroll through. But maybe the standard has gotten so low that like bullshit is now like mediocrity is like okay. Um, Wanda Wayne. Have negotiated programs with the most and men on the same depths and clashes. You got all you need. Okay, but whatever this stuff is, you can wipe it off with alcohol. I didn't even have to go lacquer thinner. But I don't even know what you would use that you could rub off. I guess it's probably some sort of polyacrylic, some of that poly stuff. Mod Podge. There's no telling, dude. People use such dumb shit on baits. I'd rather just flex on my friends. That's all part of the fun. That's all part of the fun. All right, let's see here. I feel like this stuff is, I don't know. I might have to get off of here and go in the other room and get the real solvents. I don't know if alcohol is going to cut it. It seems like it is, but I could probably use less energy with the good stuff. Let's go get some lacquer. I'll just go get some lacquer. Oh boy, it's gonna be fun getting this shit out of all these little grooves. Well, let me go see if I can do something with this loser. Good talking to everybody today. Hope you have a good drill. Drill it. Castledine posted a new video. What's he want? Is it members only or regulars? Or is it for the plebes? You should pour more native gills. Then when people ask you to paint that, just sell them a gill. When they send them, be like, you know what? I got your bait. I'm not going to paint it. But what I will do is I will keep your bait for ransom and sell you one of mine. Deal? Like that, Hello? That kind of deal? Shout out to DeWalt. Still rolling strong since 2012, 11, 18 volt, lithium ion, rocking. Stock batteries. Knock on wood. I gotta get the I need the vacuum. I want the vacuum. And the thing about all this 18 volt DeWalt stuff is that it's old, outdated, and cheap. So my next purchase, I've never bought anything other than my this drill, and it came with the Impact, and I bought that 2-pack, and it's been riding with me for years and years and years, a damn decade or longer. And I've never bought another piece that went with these batteries, but I want the vacuum for my truck and little nooks and crannies, like around the desk and stuff in here. I think it'd be a good purchase. North Carolina is actually pronounced DeWalt. I have heard that. It's in communities around here. It's also known as DeWalt, DeWalt, DeWalt. Oh, all right. It'll be good. If you get any leads on an 18-volt DeWalt vacuum sucker, let me know. Same here, Tim. We've had them all. We've had them all. My dad's got a Porter cable now. It's okay. It's on its way out. Milwaukee is supposedly the gold standard for power. Milwaukee, yes, Milwaukee has come to rise as the grand champion of power tools. I'll go buy a Bauer. All right, you'll be good. See you later. Thanks for sticking around. Frank, you mean Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land. Yes, that was Alice Cooper from Wayne's World. I did not know that. Okay, nice catch, Frank. You'll be good. See ya.